Yo, 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 in my Bobby voice, what's the word, Steve-O?
That's the bird, man.
Man, not too much. That look like a date. Look like 210. Look like a date up there, bro.
Oh, bro.
It's not looking good for the Chicago White Sox. They started the season 2-10 out of through their first 12 games, lost a bunch of one-run games, and more importantly, lost basically their entire core offensive core. Me and Steve are gonna talk about the South Side woes, plus Pedro Gaffal. Like, what is he gonna do about this situation? Right after the intro.
Welcome to the number one place for all Chicago baseball. Let's start the show.
All right, welcome to another episode of Chicago White Sox and Cubs Central, your number one spot for all Chicago baseball. It's your boy, Big Bro. We got Steve-O Speaks in the building. We are members of the Chi-Town Sports Family Network. Hey, man, it's it's been bad, bro. Before we get into our discussion, coming into the week, the Chicago White Sox were dead last in pretty much every American League offensive rank, and it's probably the same. They got more runs now because over the last couple of games, they've been putting up 5, 6, 7 runs. But last in average, last in RBI, last in run score, last in OBP and OPS, last in hits, and last in walks drawn. So that just goes to show you that the Chicago White Sox have no plate discipline, poor leadership on the field, and poor leadership coming out of that dugout when it comes to Pedro Grifol and the rest of the coaches on the team. Steve-O, give me your thoughts.
And it's funny you say that because I didn't even know that, but that's like the glaring problem of this whole team. Like we see this talent all over this clubhouse. It's just we're a very undisciplined team when it comes to base running, when it comes to fielding, when it comes to hitting in certain situations. We're just not disciplined at all. It's too many mistakes that we see on a daily basis that being had, whether it's in the bullpen, especially our relief and closing pitchers. They just hasn't been it if your name ain't Kopech, as you said before we started. And it's just it's one thing if we ain't hitting. That's something you can pay attention to and be like, hey, that's a glaring sign. We hurt. But the last few games we're hitting. We're losing the game because we're not being disciplined. We hitting batters. We swinging at anything. We running the base lazy. We're not communicating in the field. And it's just some of the same stuff we seen with last year's team. That almost it's sad that a lot of the things that we've seen towards the end of the season with a completely different squad is starting to show some DNA on this squad. So that's the worrisome part about it.
Yeah, it is. And yesterday the White Sox had 10 hits, but they left a lot of runners in scoring position. I think they were 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position. So they got 6 runs, but they left so many runs out there on the field, and they still had an opportunity to win after going up 5-0. Again, they give up, that lead, and then it goes into extra innings. They take the lead again, and then give up that lead on top of having errors. But hey, I will give these young guys, a little bit of credit because they've been stepping up. Sosa's been stepping up. Gavin Sheets had a game yesterday. Andrew Vaughn, who's like the veteran on this squad, I guess at the moment, is doing okay. But you're not getting anything from Maldonado besides his catching expertise. You're not getting anything from DeJong besides pitch hitting situations. Nicky Lopez has been pretty abysmal as well. So yeah, man, the White Sox in their 36 at bats, 6 runs on 10 hits, 5 RBIs, 1 home run, only 3 strikeouts yet. 3 walks yesterday too. So like the White Sox had their opportunities to win this series, let alone the game. The 2 games that they've lost to these guys were games that they had won, and they just didn't take care of business.
Yeah, because apparently every time we play somebody with the last name Naylor, it's a problem. Because every time we throw to him, it's goddamn guns away. So
Him,
him
him and
and
his
his brother.
brother, yes, they took care of business. They went yard yesterday in the same
On
inning.
Siblings Day.
Yeah, bro. On Siblings Day, they both hit home runs in the same inning. That just goes to show you how the White Sox are. And just to put things into perspective, the White Sox have already lost 1, 2, 3, 4 one-run games, and then you got a 2-run game in there as well. So you're talking about 4 to 5 games that the White Sox could have won, and that's a difference of being 2-10 and 7-5. You get what I'm saying? So like, it's not like the team is just so bad that they can't score. They just can't get over the hump when it comes to situations like, hey, we need this run. We got to get this runner across. We got to get him from first to third. We got the leadoff hitter on. Can we score? And that comes down to coaching, Steve-O.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, what's been so glaring obvious, but even before the injuries start happening, is Pedro is trash as a manager. He's just trash. There is no reason, especially in this last game, probably might be to me one of his worst here yet. Merrill, how do we get two leadoffs by two different? We got two leadoffs by Andrew Young. He made it a double with nobody out. He doesn't get home. He don't even get. They don't even get the third. The Young comes up, gets a lead off double, no outs. He don't even get to third either. That's two
Mm-hmm.
times. And then Gavin Sheets, like I said, have the game of his life. The game of his motherfucking life gives you the lead, and then you do the same thing you did with the Naylor brothers 4 innings before. Not
Mm-hmm.
not only do you give up 2 home runs back to back, you let Josh Naylor get a double, which is easy for Bo to come back up. But even you got somebody way before you. You walked him, he gets the third. Now his bases loaded. Just for Bo to go out there, one swing, game over. When you was up 5-0.
Yeah, it's the second game in a row they were up 5-0 and let these guys come back. They were able to get the win the other day, but ended up losing this one. And again, Pedro Grifol has to figure out how to get these guys mentally motivated, to say the least, bro. Because at the end of the day, you have opportunities to win, and right now, believe it or not, even after getting rid of Giolito and Dylan Cease, pitching, at least the
Is it
starting pitching,
right?
is the strength of the Chicago White Sox, and the relief pitching, with the exception of Michael Kopech, is the weakness. Offense has been coming around lately. These last couple of games against a really good Guardians team, with the exception of not scoring in the first game, the White Sox had the opportunity to take 2 out of 3 from these guys. Offensively, they've shown up, but they're not getting those timely hits, Steve-O. Or they're striking out at the wrong time, or they're not drawing walks when they need to, or they're not putting their foot on their necks when you have an opportunity to go up 7-0, for example, as opposed to just sitting at 5-0. It's like they get that lead, or these last 2 games when they got the lead, they just start resting on their laurels. They chill out a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and you can't take your foot off the gas in any sport, but especially Major League Baseball, because all the team needs to do is get that one hit, get that one run, and then they feel like, okay, we can get the second one. Rallying in baseball is something that's as mental as it is physical. So whenever the White Sox take an early lead, I'm worried, because I don't think that they're going to capitalize on it. Yet the day before yesterday, they went up 5-0 in the first inning
Mm-hmm.
and didn't score again until the 8th inning. And then in this case, they went up 5-0 by the 3rd inning and didn't score again until the 10th inning. So
Definitely, yep.
yeah, so it's like, they score runs early, and then they just can't figure it themselves out. They get in their own way, and here you have a 2-10 record to show for it, with multiple 1-run losses for this squad. And again, I'll say it again for those who just joining us, that's on Pedro Grifol. Like, he has to push the right buttons. When they got their first win of the season versus the Atlanta Braves, he pushed the right buttons. He put in the right pinch hitter at the right time. He called the bunt at the right time that got them their first run. So, and you put in Michael Kopech early sometimes so that he can go out there and throw straight gas. But you can't rely on him every single night. So the rest of these guys got to figure it out. The rest of this bullpen has to figure out. Brian Shaw came in there last
Oh my
night
God.
and just stunk up the place with the lead, bro. Like, I know it's a base runner already on, but you allow these guys to just get a double and bases loaded, all types of stuff. You're nervous, bro. You can't be a closing pitcher or somebody coming out in relief and not have confidence. And you just don't see confidence in a lot of these relief pitchers on the White Sox roster, besides Michael Kopech.
I'm missing Liam. I miss
Yeah.
Leon so bad. Like it makes you when you have such solid closing. Once we did have once upon a time, even when we had Curry Kimball, it makes you miss him real bad because it takes a different type of mental for a pitcher because that's why I always felt like I mean a lot of people like relief pitchers they don't you get bit end of the game that ain't really nothing but like you really have to be mentally different to be a relief pitcher because you're being most of the time you're being put in at the most stressful parts in the game. Sometimes you get put in parts where you got to get them out of jams like
Yep.
that's a different type of mental situation that it takes and you can just tell when it comes to anybody but Kopech relief wise, they just don't have it.
And
And then
even
all it
Cop
takes is one hit.
and even Kopech make it interesting. He definitely don't make it easy. He gonna walk the bases
And I
loaded.
feel like that's within himself. Like it's a times where I've seen him get two strikeouts, just 2 outs, and then next thing I know, the base is loaded, and then he gets the strikeout. You're like, why did you have to do that?
Like he got to put the pressure on himself. But you're absolutely right about the mentality of a relief pitcher. You have to come in ready to go. You don't have a feeling out period. You don't have the first or second inning to gather yourself and get yourself going. You got to come in ready to go
It's like a shoot off the
already.
bench.
Exactly. You got to come in hot. And there's no time for you to give up a couple of base runners and a couple of runs because you're coming in the seventh, eighth, or the ninth inning to lock things down. And unfortunately for the White Sox, they don't have enough arms in that bullpen to sustain their leads, at least the ones that we've seen early in the season. Because every time they take a lead, so far for the most
You
part,
lose.
and yeah, because they're 2-10, so they only got 2 wins out of 12 games, and they could have 5 wins, 6 wins at least right now. But it is what it is, yo. It is what it is. We did not expect the White Sox to be that good this season, but it's depressing when your team isn't good. When you're watching your team go out there and stink up the place every single night, every single day. And today's an off day, and they still gonna get an L. That's how bad it is for the White Sox right now. They're gonna figure out how to lose. Somebody gonna get injured today. Just speaking of
Right.
injuries, man, the White Sox are without they're without Luis Robert Jr. They're without Yohan Moncada. They're without Eloy Jimenez, and that really is your offensive core. You can toss Andrew Vaughn in there; he's the last one standing, but that's your offensive core. Benintendi hasn't been doing anything. Just can you believe that Jerry Reinsdorf gave this man the biggest contract of a free agent ever? He's the highest paid White Sox player ever, and he's doing nothing. I mean, I
I
know
can
he's
you get him at 80 million. You could have gave me one and I could have produced the exact same shit Andy didn't do.
now left field. I will give him credit. Benintendi is okay. He's a decent defender, and
Mhm.
that's part of the reason why they brought him to the team. But offensively, he's just trash right now, super trash. And the same thing with Maldonado as well. But looking at Benintendi, he's 149 is his batting average, and his on base percentage is 216, slugging percentage 170. So like he's below average at every statistical category. And he's just yesterday, for example, striking out twice with runners in scoring position. Like, come on, bro, you come on, like that. But that's on Reinsdorf. Like, out of all these years, all these players, all these
That's
opportunities
the
to sign
motherfucker
free
you
agents,
pay.
this is who you go get. You don't go after the big names. You don't go try to go get a Juan Soto or so on and so forth. Alex Rodriguez, all these players that were available over the last 30 years that have been getting big time money. You want to go get this guy money. That's the one. Not even players on you'll let players that's good from your own team go before you pay you know
Bro, I'm still pissed Jake Berger and goddamn Miami. I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah, Berger was one of my favorite
I'm
players on the
still mad that y'all let Allen, even though not Allen, what's his name? Lynn. Even though Lynn wasn't Lynn that he was now,
Yeah.
I'm still mad y'all let Lynn go.
Yeah, man. We do got a couple of comments. You're gonna have to hit them because my computer been tweaking today.
What
So
up? It's my boy Jacob Pony said, what up, y'all? Gang, support y'all everywhere as well as you, bro. Appreciate it, bro.
oh yeah, Jacob Capone, that's my guy. That's little bro right there, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, we just wanted to jump on real quick and air our grievances with this team that just doesn't seem to love us back, just like the other team that Jerry Reinsdorf owns, the Chicago Bulls. And of course you
Bro,
guys, yeah,
all
man.
these teams is a chore right now to watch.
Being a
All of
Chicago sports fan right now is very difficult. I know that we are getting lathered up for the NFL draft as well, and coming up in a couple of weeks, and the play-in tournament game that the Bulls are probably going to lose to the Atlanta
please,
Hawks.
lose.
Um,
Please.
the Blackhawks have been terrible as well. They got a bright future with the young guy, and they're
Mhm.
going to try to continue to build through the draft. But this White Sox team, I can't believe that Jerry Reinsdorf is trying to build a stadium before he builds a team. You trying to build a new stadium before you build a good team.
Hey,
Like what?
damn, you can't even get a good manager, let alone a team. Like you can't you not building any. You're building steps to build a whole new stadium, a whole nice ass stadium. Don't get me wrong, it's a good idea. It's just the wrong time. It's
Yes,
not the right time.
yes. The right time was when you had Ozzie Guillen coaching, and they were actually winning games, going to the
Yeah,
playoffs, so on and so forth. And that was 20 years ago. But right now, the Chicago White Sox are so bad that it doesn't. I mean, like I don't even think the novelty of a new stadium would last long enough to keep people coming to the stadium.
the
If that
only
makes
though
sense.
the only they keep giving us food. They keep coming out some new food. I see, bro. They got a brisket Polish.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you know we trash. When they up in the drinks and the food, that's how you know we trash.
You putting out a better menu than you putting out a roster. We went to the game last week, my sons and I, and more people were walking around the atrium buying clothes and souvenirs and food than were actually sitting in the seats. And that's exactly what Jerry Mr. Burns Reinsdorf wants. He wants you there to spend money, not to
Mhm.
enjoy the game. He doesn't care about the product that's on the field or on the court. If we're talking the Chicago Bulls, all he cares about is getting you into the stadium and have an opportunity to get more money from you than what you spent on the tickets. So that's what it is, man. The Chicago White Sox are a terrible team. They have a terrible coach, and they just got terrible luck right now with this injury bug. And like I said, even on this off day, I
Running.
wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if we got an alert that said that somebody else is injured from this team.
That young has tweaked this oblique from running down the stairs. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Kev, but it's time to go. Wait, here you go. What just happened? Wait, I don't know, but it's just depressing right now. Like it's just hard to be, especially a Sox fan right now, because these guys just they don't got it. They don't got it. They ain't trying. Ownership ain't trying. So when there's three levels of trash from the ownership, from the front office to the GM, it's a recipe for ass, and that's what we are. But yeah, this has been another episode from us and Kev. They didn't snatch Kev out the ether of the internet, so we gonna get up out of here. It's been another episode from Chicago White Sox and Cubs Central. It's your boy Steve.